This video takes a quick look at the language detection functionality in Aluma. On the right here I've got a number of documents in a variety of languages and I'd like to know what each is. I can achieve that straight from the dashboard by creating a new extractor, loading up a sample document, as you can see this particular one is in German, and then simply selecting the language option from the module list. It doesn't need any parameters, so I'm ready to test. If we click on Extract Data, we can see that it gives back the code DE, which is the 2-letter ISO code for German. Let me load up another document, a Spanish one this time. And if we retest, you'll see we get back the ES code for Spanish. This supports Eastern languages too. For example, I've got a Chinese document here. And if I test, you'll see we get ZHCN, which is the code for simplified Chinese. Now let's make things slightly trickier. I've got here a set of bilingual documents, and if I load one up, you'll see it's got two columns with English on the left side and a different language, Spanish in this case, on the right. If we test that, you'll see we get two results, English and Spanish, which is great. Let me now save this as a simple extractor. I'll call it language detector so that we can start to use it elsewhere. Now it's saved, I can use the Aluma command line interface, or CLI, to do more detailed testing. First, if I run on the same document, you'll see we get the result we just did in the dashboard. But here I can also ask for more detailed results in JSON format. And if we take a look at those, you'll see the two results. First English with a score of 57% and Spanish with a score of 42%. Let's now run a test on all the samples. The parallel processing in the cloud gives results back quickly. And they're okay, but as you can see, sometimes it's only picked up one of the two languages, and that's because the simple language detector isn't really designed for this multilingual scenario. But I know the language on the left here is always English, so I'm only really interested in the language on the right, and this is a great example of where the customization capabilities of Aluma come in handy. In the extraction builder, I'm first just going to recreate the equivalent of the language module we had on the dashboard. It's really simple, I just drag on the language detector component and then connect that to a field. I'm now going to save that and run an interactive test in Document Studio on those same documents. You can see here the same results we got earlier via the CLI. Now when there's more than one result, I can see those highlighted in red. So what can I do to improve the results for this special case? I know the language on the left is always English for these documents, so what I really want is just to detect the language on the right. That's where the flexibility of the no-code extraction builder comes in. I've defined an area representing just the right half of the page, and I'm going to feed that to a search to get all the text in just that area. And now I'm going to use that as input to the language detector. Let's retest with that new version. And this looks great. Now we can see it's getting all of the right side languages, including Chinese, Vietnamese, and so on. The only remaining issue I have is that the three of these documents are in Cambodian, and while the inbuilt detector supports over 50 languages, Cambodian isn't currently one of them. I need it to work, but I don't want to lose the great results I'm getting everywhere else, and I don't want to have to code a workaround, so let's see how we can further customize the configuration in Extraction Builder. There are a few ways I could do this, but here I'm going to add a keyword classifier and create my own rule for Cambodian words. I can copy one or more Cambodian words from the documents and use that as a very simple way to spot the language. I'm going to use the ISO code for Cambodian, which is KM, as the output for this rule. Now I can add a selector component, which gives me simple if-then logic. I'm going to set it up so that if I get a result from the keyword classifier, it should use that, but if not, it can just fall back to the default language detector. So we don't lose all the great results we're already getting. Just shift this around and then insert the selector into the logic flow. Okay, so let me go back and test the new version. And we see that the Cambodian documents, that's numbers 3, 8 and 12, all now come back with the correct code. As a final step, I'm going to deploy my new configuration to the service under the name right side language. That's done, so now I'm ready to test my final configuration in the production environment. All looks good. That's a full set of correct results.